Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. I'm your host Safa and you are listening to Crime Pod. As you know that most of the serial killers are mainly men or sometimes women accompanied by men. Today we are going to cover a case in which not only one but three women are working as a serial killer unit and were of kin. Let's delve into the case of Gavit sisters. Our story takes us back to 1970, where a girl by the name of Anjana Bai fell in love with a truck driver. As their family is not supportive to this marriage, they eloped and started living in Pune. In 1973, the couple had a daughter by the name of Renuka. Soon a rift started in their relationship, and that man left Anjana and her daughter behind. As left behind with her daughter, Anjana Bai resorted on pickpocketing or stealing things from others. She went to crowded places like bustling temples, bus stations, and even railway stations. She stole people's belongings like wristwatches, jewelry, money, and everything she could get her hands on. After 2 years living a life of crime, in 1975, she met another man by the name of Mohan Gavit. Mohan was an Indian Army veteran and was totally dependent on his pension. They fell in love with each other and soon after that they got married. Mohan, despite knowing the fact that Anjana Bai was once married and also had a daughter, he not only married her but also accepted her daughter with open arms. The couple started to live a normal life and they also had a daughter by the name of Seema Mohan Gavit. As Mohan is doing everything he could to provide a better life to them, Anjana Bai, who desired a lavish life, didn't settle on this. So she resided back to her criminal life. This culminated in police harassing the family and ultimately the couple parted their ways. Mohan married Arpita, who provided the love and care he once desired from Anjana Bai. With ache in her heart to get back on Mohan for leaving her, she continued her life of crime and even embroiled her daughters into debt. In 1990, Renuka was standing in the bustling temple of Chaturushinji, Pune. She was holding her 1-year-old son Ashish. She saw a woman with a purse and she wanted to snatch that away. Her attempt was foiled. Soon a crowd assimilated around her and seeing a toddler in her arms, the crowd thought that how a mother could steal with a toddler in her arms, so they let her go in sympathy. This caused an idea to stir up in her fiendish mind, and she shared it with her mother and sister, who immediately jumped on the bandwagon. For this plan, they started abducting children and used them to fend off the attention of crowd. In July of 1990, Renuka abducted their first victim, who was a child of a beggar from Kolhapur. They later took him to Pune and named him Santosh. In April of 1990, they took Santosh to Mahalakshmi temple, where Seema tried to make away with a purse, but she was caught. To divert the attention, Anjana Bai threw 1-year-old Santosh to ground with force. The child began to wail, and to stifle his weeping, Anjana Bai carelessly bashed his head with an electric pole. All while the others witnessed this while eating vada pav. The child died due to his injuries, and they later dumped his inert body in a nearby rickshaw stop. They kept on repeating the same process, which ended up in 6 innocent children losing their lives. This only includes the children they were later convicted of murdering, and we don't really know how many fell prey to the fiendish scheme of this heartless family. In October of 1996, Pratibha Mohan Gavit filed police complaint in Nasik against the trio. She alleged that they had kidnapped her 9-year-old daughter Kranti. Police probe into her complaint began and the team went to search their house in Nasik, where they discovered evidence pertaining to the other kidnappings which at this point the underground trio was involved in. As we told earlier that she had an ache to get back at Mohan, Anjana Bai resurfaced on 19 November 1996 to nab Mohan and Pratibha's younger daughter, but they ended up being nabbed themselves as police were waiting for them. Kiran Shinde, who was the husband of Renuka, Later turned a state witness towards the three and told police about everything. He also told police that he was just used as a mean of conveyance by the trio while they enacted their evil plans. When Renuka found about his betrayal, she divulged everything to police. 9-year-old Kranti's body was retrieved from a sugarcane field in Narsoba near Pune. Before their trial for these atrocities began, Anjana Bai kicked the bucket after spending 2 years in custody at the age of 50. Their trial began, and more than 150 people testified against them. Despite being charged with 10 killings, they were only found guilty of 6. The Session Court of Kolhapur cited lack of evidence as the reason behind them not being guilty in other 4 murders. They were found guilty of all kidnappings. The case went up to the High Court in Bombay, who upheld their convictions in a ruling given in September of 2004. But the court also acquitted them of 1 murder. In August of 2006, the Supreme Court of India upheld the death penalty. In October of 2008 and 2009, both Seema and Renuka filed a petition to the Governor of Maharashtra to grant them pardon under the decree of Article 161 of the Constitution of India. But the Governor rejected their mercy petition in March of 2012 and August of 2013 respectively. Their application was then forwarded to the President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, who did the same as the Governor of Maharashtra. After the rejection of their petitions to both Governor and the President, the sisters went back to High Court in Bombay in August of 2014. This time seeking commutation of their death sentences on the ground that the state had taken an inordinate amount of time in handling their mercy pleas. The Gavit sisters in their petition said that this delay had caused them to live in constant fear of death. The Union Home Ministry and Maharashtra Home Department tried to sway the blame from themselves and said that they had sent a series of reminders to the state government to look into their petitions. They said that there was no unreasonable delay on part of the state, and the time which elapsed was due to the required procedures at each level. They also stated that the files of mercy petition had to be reconstructed as a fire at the headquarters of Mantralaya in June 2012 had destroyed it. In January of 2022, the High Court agreed with the sisters, and their death sentences were commuted to life imprisonment. In his verdict, the judge said that the delay in mercy plea had a dehumanizing effect on the convicts. He also said that the crimes the sisters committed were utterly gross and heinous. He also included that the sisters are a menace to the society and should remain confined at Jivada jail in Pune for the rest of their remaining life. If their original sentence were carried out, this would have been the first instance where a woman was executed in India after 1955. The only time when a woman was executed in the history of India was Ratan Bai Jain, who was convicted of murdering 3 girls. According to media reports, there were no remorse on the faces of these sisters, and the people who were covering these cases said that during the trial, the women kept on talking about the trauma and dread that they went through during this case, but there was no commiseration for the victim they so dastardly preyed upon. That's all for the case of notorious Gavit sisters from India. I hope you liked the case study with me, and if you do, don't forget to like this video. Leave a comment behind and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. Stay tuned, stay curious.